As the hookah-smoking caterpillar said in Alice in Wonderland, who are you? So I'm naturally a quirky, intense, deep, sensitive person who's fascinated by things like spirituality and the supernatural. When I was in school, I used to be bullied so bad. I was called weirdo, I was called alien, and because I was different, I was strange. And back then, I used to think, oh no, please like me. I'm not weird, I want to fit in like you. And I tried so hard to suppress my natural self. Not only was it painful for me, but it was painful for them because I was just trying to fit in with these people who actually weren't my tribe. So now I feel completely differently. The more that I have gone within to do my own healing, and I bring this again back to Alice in Wonderland, she gets chased by the Jabberwocky, and it's this big beast that's chasing her from behind, this big dark entity, and it's haunting her. And until she faces it and confronts it, it's there behind her, scaring her. So the more I faced my own internal Jabberwocky, went into here and all the things that didn't feel right, didn't feel aligned, the more I started to find deep respect and worth within, and the less that people who weren't truly on my level, what they said didn't matter anymore. So now, when people call me weirdo, things like that, I actually think it's a compliment. And now I'm like, yes, I am weird. Will you be weird with me? Do you want to be a freak with me? And if they're like, what the fuck are you talking about? Then I'm like, okay, you don't get it, that's fine. See you later. And I keep that space clear. And the more that I do that, the more it attracts me to my genuine tribe, who are also spiritual, quirky, intense, deep, sensitive. And so the more that we can go in and just start to honour and love who we are, the more that we can attract that into our lives. And going back to people who aren't like us, I used to want everyone to like me, but actually now I don't want everyone to like me. Would you really want everyone to like you? If you think about it for a minute, there are a lot of people who are just neutral. There are some people who are very passionate and extremely caring. And on the flip side, there are some people who actually like to hurt people for a hobby. Would you really want to be friends with someone like that? I don't think you would, right? So the more that we are healing our own inner pain, our own inner Jabberwocky, and lifting our vibration into who we genuinely are and completely honouring it and owning it, the more that we're going to repel people who are not like us. And that's actually very powerful and protective. And there's a YouTube channel I love, a lady called Infinity, and her channel is Magnetize Yourself. And she speaks about energy, healing, soul connections, things like this. And she said recently, if you try to make yourself palatable to fit into the mainstream, you end up losing your core soul frequency. And this is what makes you magnetic. So back in the day, when I was trying to be less of who I am to fit in with people who weren't like me, I was completely betraying my core soul frequency, which is passionate, intense, spiritual, sensitive weirdo. So this is where being polarizing comes into play. In things like sales and marketing, if you're for everybody, you end up being for nobody. And it's the same thing in life. So if we try to fit in with what everyone else is saying or thinking or doing, regardless of how we feel inside, and our own morals and our own passions and purposes, stuff like that, we end up diluting ourselves, and we won't be polarizing. You know, if for instance a person who wants to fit in with everyone, so they do a job they think everyone would approve of, they're wearing dark colors to blend in with the herd, they're doing things like, I must have a degree, I must have a 9 to 5, I must get married, I must have children. For some people, those things are genuinely what they want to do, and that's brilliant. But maybe that isn't for everybody. So by doing only what feels right for you, you will be doing yourself such a service and a blessing. So when we start to honour ourselves more and listen to what we feel we need in our heart, our gut and our soul, then we will become more polarizing. And that is a good thing, because like from my own experience, from when I start to do this more and stand firmly in who I am, it starts to repel the people who aren't truly like me. And that's fine, because we just aren't on the same frequency. So really, we just won't really understand each other or like effortlessly connect. And then what it does is it makes space for the ones who are genuinely on your wavelength, meant to be in your life. And this is the power of being polarizing. And it also makes me think of RuPaul's Drag Race, which I might have mentioned before in another video. One of the many reasons I love this show is because the people on this show, the contestants, they are not afraid to own and be and sing loudly from the rooftops their genuine, authentic selves. And a lot of the time, the people there, they have been misunderstood by family, their communities, people at school, etc. Some of them have even had to leave the countries they were born because of such persecution and societal beliefs that don't fit with what they feel is their truth. But by honouring their truth, their authentic self, owning it and unashamedly expressing it to the world, they are inspiring millions of other people to do the same. And that's absolutely such a sacred gift we can give, not only to ourselves, but to the greater good, the communities, countries, the entire world, right? The collective. So if someone shames you or judges you or mocks you for being your genuine, honest, authentic self, right? That just means that they are not your tribe. It doesn't mean there's anything wrong with you, because there is not at all. Society likes us to believe that we have to conform to like this little square box. We have to force ourselves to fit into it. We have to only do this one thing, behave this one way. As long as we're not hurting other people, we should be free to completely express ourselves. And being authentic is expressing our true self, exactly how we feel on the inside. So sometimes you may find that the people who will mock and judge and shame us for being our genuine selves, they're the ones who are triggered because they're not actually being their true self. So they can get even threatened or envious of other people who are their true selves. This reminds me of someone I knew a very long time ago, and they were really annoyed with a person in a pub at another table. This person at this other table was just being very flamboyant and expressive. And I found it was beautiful. It was just authentic. And the person I was with, they just kept giving them evils. And they were really annoyed with this person who was doing absolutely nothing to be annoying. And it was because the person I was with, they were struggling to be their authentic self and express themselves. So they were triggered by this other person being able to do that. So please don't take it personally when people do that. And on the theme of other people is sometimes people do this because they can't be themselves, right? And what you may find happening is that they may wear a false mask of, for instance, joy or peace. But your body, your gut, you will know in your nervous system if someone feels safe for you or not. And if a person is not being their authentic self, then it may feel wrong in your body. You may get signs about them, you may dream about them. Now, you may brush it off as being paranoia, but your body always knows. It's your inner compass, right? Your nervous system, your intuition, your gut. It always knows what is for your highest good and what is not. So pay attention to how people make you feel. And if there's something about their energy that doesn't match their words, intentions, actions, then maybe they're not someone that's meant to be in your life very much. They're not necessarily going to be good for you or healthy. So, and this is the same way as like you may see this on YouTube, certain channels where people talk about certain things, but if they don't really embody the energy of what they're talking about, you may feel a bit repelled away, whereas if they're genuinely talking about something they truly believe in and they are embodying, you may want to watch more of their content. You may not even consciously know why. Your body knows that their energy is aligned with their words and their actions. And this is so magnetic, and this is the magic of being our authentic selves. So tune into how you feel within. Do your own activities and ways of living and words match how you really feel inside? So for instance, some people may think they're confident and they may say, oh yeah, like I'm brilliant at everything. But if inside they actually don't believe it, then there's going to be a disparity there which will be picked up by other people. So really start to go within and find out, you know, as again the hookah smoking caterpillar said, who are you? Like, what are your genuine passions, your morals, your hobbies, the things that light you up? This is your authentic self. And the more you can start to embody it and own it, your magnetism will go up and up and up, and it's got absolutely nothing to do with physical looks. It's purely energy. So think about some of the people throughout history, and I may have mentioned some of these people in another video because I love them so much, right? Einstein, David Lynch, Salvador Dali, Iris Apfel. So these people, they stood out. And why is that? It's because they were not afraid to be their authentic self, no matter how eccentric or odd or whatever they came across to other people. They were passionate, they were creative, and they inspired so many people through their work or their art. And this is, again, the power of being authentic and not trying to fit ourselves into a box that we were never meant to fit into. You're here for something bigger. And if this video's found you today, that's why, because you've got this flame inside you, and maybe something is lighting up in you. And I would love to know in the comments if something in this video is lighting up that flame in you of wanting to grab something about your authenticity and to just express it to the world, regardless of what some people may think if they don't get it. So like the Jabberwocky in Alice in Wonderland, the more that we can heal, the more that we can find inner peace and freedom and alignment, and the more that we can feel truly aligned within with how we express ourselves outwardly, the more that other people feel it and the more magnetic it is. So if you're enjoying this content and you want to find out more about how to refine your energy, redefine your life, then please do give a subscribe, and I will see you next time. Peace out.